Hello and welcome to Cryptic Change. If ever you dabble with DeFi, there's always a risk of rug pulls, which is basically when the creator of a certain project takes all the money and runs away with it. Now, this kind of scam actually happens several times a week, and if you check the website rect.news, you can read about tons of instances where people have lost a lot of money to scams like these. And of course, no matter how safe you might think you are, this is always a hazard when you're letting someone else handle your money, and the reason for the old mantra, not your keys, not your coins. But luckily, there are a few things you can do to protect yourself against this, and I'll tell you all about it as soon as you hit that like and subscribe button. Now, whenever you find a new crypto project which you are interested in and start reading up on it, you're always going to be flooded by a whole bunch of people who tells you to do your own research. However, personally, I'm not such a big fan of this saying, since it's basically just a bunch of empty words which doesn't really help anyone. And even if you do your own research and check the total volume locked and read long audits and look into the founder's background or just watch it like a hawk for sudden fluctuations, all the research in the world will still only protect you so far. However, there is still one thing you can do which might just make it easier to sleep at night, and that is to check if the project has a time lock. Now, traditionally, time locks was something found in old-fashioned banks, where you could only open the vaults at certain times of the day to protect against robberies so that gangsters couldn't kidnap and torture bank employees to gain the combination to the safe. However, in the DeFi scene, the time lock is a piece of code in a smart contract that can lock the functionality of an application for a certain amount of time. And since I'm a big fan of cryptos, I'm going to use that as an example. And if we go over to their website and the documentation area, we can find that they actually have a 48-hour time lock. And this means that there is a 48-hour time period between when code changes are published and when they are deployed. Therefore, if a developer wanted to implement malicious code, there would be a 48-hour delay before the code is deployed, thus allowing users to withdraw their funds. And if that all sounds a little bit confusing, the important thing here is to learn how you can use this information to monitor when there is changes in the code. And luckily, there are actually several services which will publish these changes in code directly to you. And going with the example of a cryptos, all the changes to their code will be published at a site found at appurect.net, which will also publish all the changes from PancakeSwap and Kebab Finance Farm, never heard of it, and Goose DeFi. So if we were to check the Cryptos vault, we can see all the recent changes made to the protocol. And while this information might not be exactly user-friendly, there is, however, also a Telegram time lock monitor bot, which will publish all these information onto Telegram and send you a cute little notification pop-up every time something is changed in the code. So here we can see recently there's been a few changes to PancakeSwap, and here we also see one from Cryptos, and it also says that the change was to set the withdrawal fee to this new number, which doesn't sound too malicious. However, if you want to double check this and see what the actual change is for yourself, then there's also some details you can click. Open that, and it will take you back to the urect.net site, which I showed earlier, where you can read more about each change. And if this information still seems a little bit overwhelming, as it does for most of us, then there's always the separate Telegram channel for cryptos, where you can ask people who are much smarter than me or you to explain what the latest change entails. Or if you rather prefer, you can always check out Reddit, but the key thing here is just to be able to keep track of what changes are made to the protocol. And this was of course just for cryptos, but most other DeFi projects should have similar services in place, or at the very least have a 48-hour time lock. But if they don't, then maybe you shouldn't put your money there in the first place. And that's all I have for you today, my cryptic friends. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and do be careful out there.